Hey, it's Christian again. We look forward to meeting with you guys here soon. I figured in the interim, before you meet with one of our project specialists, that you'd probably want to understand how you're getting billed from your utility company. And so there's two different ways that we can get billed. Number one, you may not have solar already, and so you're getting a monthly utility bill. Or number two is you may have solar already, but you're receiving an annual settlement or true-up bill. And so we'll walk through how both of those bills work and how you're getting billed from the utility company and how it more than likely will increase over time. And so first, if you don't have solar, you're receiving a monthly utility bill from the utility company, and it'll be broken down into two different portions. We pay a lot of the times for gas, and then we'll also pay for electricity. Typically, the electric portion is going to be a little bit larger portion on the bill, and the gas portion will be a little bit smaller. But on the electric portion, we get charged in units of electricity. You could think of them as like gallons of gas at the gas station. And so the utility company calls these kilowatt hours. We get charged anywhere from about 45 to 50 cents, and in some cases all the way up to 60 cents per each unit of electricity that we use. And then PG&E looks and they say, how many units of electricity did you use? So let's say, for example, I used 1,000 units of electricity and the utility company was charging me 50 cents per each unit of electricity. I would get charged $500 at the end of the month. Now, the really hard part is that those kilowatt hours that we get charged for continue to increase month over month and year over year. So let's say a year from now, I still only use 1,000 units of electricity in any given month. And now they're charging 70 cents per unit of electricity. My bill just went from $500 to $700, and I didn't change anything that I do in the home. And that's been a lot of people's experiences over time. We've seen that PG&E typically increases anywhere from 9 to 12% each year. And that may not sound like a lot in 1 year, but when you add that up over time, that equals some people's utility bills doubling, tripling, and quadrupling over time. And this happens due to a variety of different reasons. One of the main things that PG&E is doing right now is they're doing wildfire protection plans, which means that they're putting a lot of the power lines underground. And the hard part is that you and I are the ones that have to end up paying for it. And these power lines cost about $1 million per mile for underground lines. And they pass those on to the ratepayers, you and I. Other reasons that this can happen is that the more people that decide to go solar, what happens is PG&E has to go and recover those costs from somewhere else. Let's say, for example, on a micro scale, there's 10 different people in a neighborhood. And let's say 2 of them have solar. The other 8 people that don't have solar have to go and then make up for those costs. They have to shift them somewhere else. Unfortunately, PG&E, or fortunately, however you'd like to look at it, is a for-profit company. So if 2 people in that neighborhood decide to go solar, somebody else has to pay for it. And there are some neighborhoods where there's 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 people that have solar, and there's only a couple homeowners left. And typically in those case scenarios, those people are going to be paying a lot more for energy than the people are that do have solar for their home. Another main reason that we'll see these rates increase over time is due to the fact that PG&E experiences inflation just like everybody else. The cost of employees, the cost of materials, the underground lines that we mentioned, the trucks, gas, maintenance for the power lines, all of these things add up. Typical inflation just by itself is about 3 to 4%. Not counting any of the other things, like, the underground lines, the wildfire lawsuits, so on and so forth. So at this point, you can probably start to imagine how these, rate increases start to compound each and every year. So most of the people that we meet with are trying to find a way that they can have control and protection over their utility bill so they don't have to pay the utility company anymore. And they don't get to the point to where they're starting to pay $1 per kilowatt hour, and 1,000 kilowatt hours equals $1,000 utility bill at the end of the month. And if you have a true-up bill or a settlement bill at the end of the year, this applies almost in the same exact way. Let's say, for example, you're using 5,000 units of electricity at the end of the year, and let's say PG&E charges you 50 cents per kilowatt hour or per unit of energy, that means you spend $2,500 for your electricity. And the hard part is once the cost of energy doubles due to all the things that we've already talked about, is we'll get to a point to where we're paying $1 per kilowatt hour of energy, and that same $5,000 or 5,000 kilowatt hour true up would equal a $5,000 annual true up bill. And most people don't want to be in that position. So we'll have our project engineer kind of walk through the different solutions that we'll have where you could pay less for your energy and help give you guys control and protection. But again, those are the main things that you're going to want to look out for when you're looking at your utility bill. Is how much energy are you using and how many kilowatt hours are you using? And over time, you'll start to see a trend, and it's only going one way. And unfortunately, that's up.